Welcome to another one-day build. We have Angela's car back, and today I'm going to have her install our oil feed line kit. To open this, because I'm a big fan of being transparent, when I did the installation for the prototype kit, I did do it on a Juke that didn't have any of its heat shields on the turbo, as I'm sure some of you have noticed and some of you have pointed out on other social media. It is still possible to put this kit on even with the heat shield being on there. There's just a couple extra steps. So Angela is actually going to illustrate that to show you guys that even somebody that doesn't have any automotive experience can still install this kit. The only thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to walk her through how to do this. I'm not going to touch any of the tools that actually go on the car. So she is going to do this installation completely herself, and you guys will hear how I walk her through this. Again, for transparency, pry bar and a hammer are going to be necessary. The heat shield on the downpipe, it sticks out about a ½ inch to a ¼ inch too much. So you do just need to bend it back a little bit. It's nothing drastic, you can't break anything. There's a huge air gap between the heat shield and the downpipe itself, so you're not going to hurt anything. And also, she's going to show you how to take the heat shield off the top of the turbo, which again, typically I just leave off of the turbos, but if you want to put yours back on, that is entirely up to you. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this hose off. So you're going to take that clamp, you're going to slide it onto the metal part, just because there's more room. Yep. And you're going to take the pliers and you're going to twist that hose off. There's some pliers right there. And then you're going to take the pliers and put them around the hose, using two hands. Put them all the way down so they're on the hip. And squeeze tight and twist back and forth. Nope, the other way, like this way.
Like that?
Yep. So that loosens it up. Now you're going to pop the hose off. So you got that off. Good. There you go. Now just pop the line up. Yep, there you go. Let me see that. I'm just going to tuck that out of the way. This isn't cheating, I'm just tucking it out of the way.
Cheating!
Good? Put some oomph behind it. There you go.
I don't want to tighten it.
You're loosening.
Oh, there it goes. Come on, there you go.
So what you're going to do is you're going to, this can get bent wherever you need to.
Okay.
Pliable.
Yep.
You're going to slide this down. And you're going to, give me the wrong tool.
Give me the right tool, Matt.
You're going to slide this down.
Yeah.
And you're going to get this popped on there.
Okay.
You need something to stand on so you can see?
Yeah.
So spin the wrench around. Yep. It fits. It comes off, I promise.
Yeah. So, okay. Oh, I think I see it.
If you need to bend this out of the way, don't be afraid to.
It's such an odd angle. Okay.
Just take the bolt out of there.
Yeah.
It just slides out.
I've got it cupped here. I didn't want to. That's a huge. Now where do I tuck this?
And just let it flop around.
Ooh. Almost lost it.
Alright, so now we're going to remove the upper heat shield so we can get to the rest of this line. You can bend the line out of the way like that so you have more room to play. So there's a bolt back here, a bolt here, and a bolt on my thumb, and then there's also a 10mm bolt on the side. So Angela's going to go ahead and take those off. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen at home who are watching this, if this happens to you and that bolt strips as it typically does, undo all of the 8mm bolts and you'll be able to bend the heat shield up. So undo that back one using the ratchet wrench.
Now do we get the charge?
Okay, so for those of you keeping track at home, 2 of her bolts are stripped. It's not necessarily her fault.
Not necessarily. Could be.
So those of you keeping track at home, if you have something like this happen, it's okay to get a little nasty with the heat shield. So we're going to get a pry bar, and we're going to pry the heat shield up and out of the way. Now, if you want to remove the heat shield completely, you can get her favorite tool, the torch, and you can cut the heads of the bolts off. I don't have a torch here because we're in a home garage. So we're just going to bend the heat shield out of the way to get to the rest of it. You're going to put the pry bar here.
Yep.
and up against anything that you can. Okay, you can bend it up.
It's got like 2 layers. Is that what I'm looking at?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then pry upward if you have to, downward, whatever you gotta do to pry that out of the way.
Let's get in here.
This bolt just broke.
Nice.
No, that is good. So
Right.
now you're gonna stop.
Oh,
You're gonna bring the pry bar
over there.
over here.
Mm-hmm.
You can
And
just
pull it up
see
there?
how this broke,
Okay.
and that's free.
Yep.
So now you have direct line of sight.
Hmm.
Bolt.
Okay.
So that 17 is the one that you need to take off. That was easy.
This is the job that never ends. Goes on and on. Alright. Oh! Man. Okay. That one was easier than that other one over here.
The other one there gets more heat. Okay, now this line comes out. There's a hook on the other end, so you're just gonna have to finagle it around to get it under the wastegate actuator. So just pull on it until you can. There you
Ew!
go. And throw it right on the spare tire. All right, so this is the part that I was talking about with the heat shield, where we're gonna have to bend it because she still has hers. I'm gonna position the bar so she can see where it is, but for those of you who are doing this at home, where the bolt was that you took out, there's a little dimple in the heat shield that's already there. You just need to make that dimple further back. It's as simple as it is. The camera's not going to be able to see back there. I will see if I can find an OEM downpipe to point out where the dimple is. But you're just going to take a pry bar and a hammer, and you're just going to give it a couple of good whacks, and it'll bend it in enough to fit this piece in there, along with the 90-degree piece on the oil line. So she's going to thread the adapter in now, which you have to do it kind of by feel, and the washer has to stay on the adapter.
I had to do a little yoga with my hand.
Yeah, you learn to put your hands in all kinds of uncomfortable positions doing this
Yeah,
job.
I got it though.
So she's going to go ahead and tighten up that fitting now that she just put in. Right. You have that set to tightening, right?
I don't know. See?
As funny as that would have been.
I think I got it on there.
Okay.
Right.
So now she's going to go ahead and put this 90-degree piece on. So you're going to thread that on there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're going to want to look down there so you make sure you thread it on. Then we'll pop the line on it and we'll tighten down everything.
Do I want it to stick up?
You want it sticking kind of straight towards you, so diagonally.
Okay. So that's as tight as I can get it with my hand. Do I have to?
So now, there's two ways you can do it from here. You can either hold it with your hand and take the 15mm and tighten it, and you don't have to overly tighten it, just a little, and it'll be fine. Or you can thread this on, which gives you less room to work, but you can hold the line to keep the position and do it. So whichever way you think you'd be able to do it.
With my lack of experience, which way is the best way for?
I would do it
Well,
with
then
your
that's-
finger holding it.
That's what we do then.
You use the open end.
Okay.
Not the close end. And if it moves a little bit, it's not the end of the world. The
Yeah.
braided line has a lot of flex in it, so you can kind of put it. So now, you're going to take this, see how it spins?
Yep.
I'm just going to thread it on there.
Just.
Then you have to tighten it up.
Huh.
Coming to the home stretch though, we're almost done. That's the hardest part right there.
Ha. All right, where'd you go there, you old
I mean,
bastard?
you've only been on this thing for like 45 minutes or an hour.
There we go. I got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I suck at this.
No, you've never done it before. If I put another one of these in front of you and said, hey, do this, you'd have a way better idea.
I would leave.
This is gonna be a long video full of you just complaining.
Well, you start me off on level 20.
Yeah.
Why can't I start on
This
level
is
1?
not an easy task.
Well,
Typically, I'd probably charge an hour's worth of labor to do this.
yeah. Hey!
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 Small victories.
So now,
Oh,
we're gonna do the same thing, but up here.
okay.
But you can see what you're doing up here, which makes it a little easier. So you're gonna start with this fitting.
Yep.
Start it in by hand, like you did before, so don't lose the washer.
It's going in here?
No, it's going in that hole that you took it out of. So you wanna bring the tire over here and stand up?
Yeah, I can't see. So,
That hole right there. You should be able to see it.
oh, I can see it. Yep, yep. Got it.
Don't drop the washer. I made that mistake last night on Chad's car. It took me like 20 minutes to get the damn thing. Because it's aluminum, so you can't use a magnet.
Yes. That sucks. How was it?
That was perfect.
Yay!
Okay. Now, you're gonna take this line, this one.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna screw it on there.
Okay.
There you go. Okay. Again, for those of you keeping score at home, the heat shield, if you could not get it off all the way, is going to be in the way of running the line this way. Because typically this is how I like it run. The heat shield, when it goes back down, is going to obviously be in the way of doing that. So there's two things you can do. You can either fight like hell and get your heat shield off, or you can run this line out behind the turbo and put it in that way. I'm gonna have her run it out behind and put it on that way, just so we can put her heat shield back down. Okay, so there are multiple ways to do this. Do not tighten up the 90-degree fitting until the line is on. Okay, so let me just bend that down a little bit. Put that in there. So now you're gonna spin that 90-degree thing around,
Yep.
so that you can get the hose on it.
Hey.
Yeah.
Listen to me.
Is it bad that I enjoy watching people struggle on this so they understand how much a pain in the ass it is?
A little bit. A little bit. But I'd be doing the same thing if you were trying to do a synthesis lab or something.
I'm not even gonna pretend I know what that is.
Making something.
Is it on there?
Yep.
See?
Nope. You can't look yet.
Okay. Alright, me kicked out.
No!
So you see how you have your hand downward like this?
Yeah.
Like that. Come in from the side. So now you have that on. You're gonna take the 15 and you're gonna tighten up backwards from the other way. You're gonna tighten the line first, then you're gonna tighten the swivel.
Okay.
And the reason we do that is when you tighten the line up, you're gonna be able to want to move this so you can get the ratchet on it.
Yeah.
You can get the wrench on it. Then when you tighten that up, you can hold the line where you want it. Okay? So it's the 15 millimeter. Yep. Okay, so you see how it's moving around on you?
Yeah.
You can start to tighten up the other one, the swivel.
Oh, I can?
The best way to approach that is from under the heat shield.
Yeah.
Alright, so you got the line on. Before we put the heat shield back or button anything else up, we're gonna pop this vacuum line back on. Just pop it on, you don't have to put the clamp or anything.
Oh.
It's right here. Okay. And it's best, like I said in the original installation video, have two people. Have one person turn the car on and one person checking for leaks. That way if there's a leak, you can tell that person to shut the car off. So Angela.
Oh, I'll do the turn the car on.
Alright, sounds good. of luck. Okay, so there's no leaks, so we can go ahead, button everything else up. Recommended after a couple of days of driving to just get under there, check to make sure there's no leaks. If you have the tools, check to make sure that everything is still tight, but otherwise, that's that. So you just finished doing that. We spent about 2 hours, is about how long it took you to do that.
Mm-hmm.
How hard, now you've never worked on a car before, right?
No.
You've never done anything like this?
Nothing.
Everything that's on this car has either been put on by me or another technician?
Yep.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how hard was it? A 10 being a transmission, a 1 being a cold air intake.
Seeing as I haven't installed either of those, I don't know, 6, 7.
Okay.
The hardest part was the rusted bolts.
So,
So,
if I wasn't here with you to do it, how long do you think it would have taken you to do it?
with my lack of upper arm strength,
Probably like 8 hours.
Probably, yeah.
About 8 hours. Now, that's not to deter you from trying to do it yourself, but if you bring the car to a shop and say, hey, I need my oil line replaced with this, and give them a link to the video so they know what's coming at them, I wouldn't expect an actual mechanic shop who's never done this before to charge around 3 hours is what I would expect, just because they're going to have to bend the heat shield out of the way and deal with some rusted bolts.
Yes.
So all in all, it's not really that bad.
Rust.
But you just saw somebody with no automotive experience do this. The only thing that I did was I checked to make sure things were tight, just because I didn't want to cause another mess on my driveway.
And this is my daily.
And she drives this every day, so I was just there to check to make sure everything was good. She did awesome for her first time touching a car.
Thank you.
So if you seem intimidated by this, you know, it's a preventative maintenance thing. You're not going to get any performance gain out of it. So if you're intimidated by it, it's just not for you. But I do, as somebody who's seen these fail all the time, do recommend doing this. Her car's got 105,000 miles on it. Her line seemed to be in good shape when we pulled it out, but now we don't have to worry about it. And if in the future there's a leak on this oil line, it's as simple as getting a section of that and replacing it. It's universal. These oil feed lines are on back order through Nissan last time I checked, so it takes like a week to get them. So if you have one fail, you're kind of screwed for a week. So that is that. Angela, thank you for being my guinea pig. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. Make sure you go check out the new website we have up, thefastreligion.com. You can get all kinds of merch, decals, and you can also read more about the builds we're doing. In the meantime, why don't you check out these other cool videos that we have going on, and make sure you hit that subscribe button.